D-Day was 3 weeks ago and, I'm still devastated my wife cheated on me with a coworker friend. My wife and I have been through hell and back in the 10 years we were together before marriage, and that was what made me choose her as a partner and propose in 2020. We had the best year of our lives in 2022, amazing wedding, reconnecting honeymoon, I'd really put work into our relationship and it was showing. Plus promotions and work success as we geared up for kids, unsuccessful but we're actively trying, and house buying planning. We were flying pretty high by the end of 2022. But apparently for different reasons. We became super close friends in 2019 with a couple that we'd been sort of peripheral friends with for several years before that. The dude was from my wife's work and we were extremely close with them and their kids. Once his wife became pregnant with a surprise kid over COVID, my wife and him became really close. Texting all the time, more touchy-feely than I liked, though our community is very touch-positive, so this actually bothered me the least, and hanging out on their own, her being overly concerned with his well-being when we were on trips together, etc. To my knowledge my wife has never had an affair and we've been explicit in our monogamy over our 13 years together, always trusted her and we were doing so well. I caught them about to be intimate at a party when everyone had gone to bed. Everyone was sober at this point in the night and she'd insisted we stay over. She left our spare room bed and planned to meet him downstairs as we'd stayed over at their house, with his infant and wife upstairs. I left, kicked her out immediately and forced a 72H hold on communication because I was worried I'd do something terrible. Lover told OBS I was going to tell her but he beat me to it, and she did the same to him. Later that week, found out from OBS that she'd subsequently learned this has been going on for 5 years, long before we got married. Multiple instances of, seemingly no intimacy, but I think it's a truism in dribs and drabs, hooking up that made it clear this was much more than just a friendship that made a mistake. He's one of my closest friends, on top of it all, and apparently justified to his wife that since I had told him I was happy my wife had a close friendship that was implied consent for an affair. Insane. I'm beyond devastated. It's been a couple weeks now and I'm all the things you guys have felt. I kicked her out. Weeks of drinking, crying, wrecking our stuff, and lots of therapy, very grateful to have curated a truly amazing community of friends for support as well. For what it's worth, she seems genuine remorseful, took full responsibility, for the damage/harm this has caused, didn't gaslight me, and has been honest with our friends and hates herself for what she's done. But the fact this went on for so long, it's not like she admitted it, I had to be traumatized by catching them, makes me feel like it's crocodile tears. After endless soul-searching and feeling like I need to make a decision, I'm going to tell her I want a separation and that she needs to move out for the foreseeable future. I don't see a way we get through this, but I know that she needs to face her own demons and it's been hard to admit this has nothing to do with me, or even us. She has work to do on herself, and I can't be here for it. Maybe one day something will rise from the ashes but our relationship is destroyed. I don't see her as a partner anymore. 3 weeks ago we were trying to have kids, insanity. I don't know what I'm asking. Still in shock and can't really think about reconciliation. I'm so exhausted right now I just feel like I need to protect what sanity I have left and focus on finding some moments of joy for myself. They have been intimate. And more than once. She has not taken responsibility. They have maintained an emotional and intimate relationship for a long time, at least 5 years, while he cheated on you, his lover's wife and the whole family. She also did a great acting job to make you feel like you've had the best year of your life and marriage and reconnecting honeymoon. At this point, how much ever she act to look like remorseful, I'd urge you to still look at it with a critical eye. She has proven to you that she can lie to you successfully with you being none the wiser. Considering the enormity of her betrayal, I really don't know how you can recover this marriage at this point. For all we know, OP, you were the side dude she had because her main dude was already taken. Until she comes completely clean there is no hope of reconciliation and recovery. I would go to a lawyer and begin the process of termination of the relationship. Inform her that everything is on her to save the marriage. She wrecked it. It's her job to fix it. And no, that doesn't mean love bombing. It means a serious, complete and total commitment to you and the marriage. It means she will have to dig down deep and figure out what you need. You aren't going to tell her what you need. She needs to figure it out. She needs to enter individual counseling in addition to all this. She needs to break with the lover. Firmly and completely. He is to never darken your door or her thoughts again. It's up to her. If she can't do it, then she needs to be honest, and if she has any love for you at all, let you go and find someone who deserves you. But, does OP even want to save the marriage at this point? It wasn't a real marriage. She was intimate with another guy even before she got married. I would say she married OP under false pretenses. She thought she was in an open relationship. Why would she want to stay married with OP if she had to give that up and become monogamous? Obviously, open relationship is her default. Why agree to have relationships with only one person for the rest of her life if that isn't the way she was born? Unless of course she gets the benefit of OP's lifestyle and status, and she could still do it behind his back. OP, according to my friends, she started IC, though obviously have no idea if she's being honest or whatever, and agreed to cut contact with him when I talked to her 2 weeks ago. I'm not defending her, and no idea if she's going to stick with any of it. And I don't think can happen in the short/medium term regardless. For what it's worth, she seems genuine, remorseful, took full responsibility, didn't gaslight me, and has been honest and with our friends, and hates herself for what she's done. Has she? She claims she never did it with a guy she was going to sleep with under the same roof as you. Under the same roof as his wife and their infant. Have had relations, many times. She betrayed 2 people close to her. As did he. I'm glad you're moving on and choosing yourself. I edited the post. I honestly didn't ask her for details, I couldn't hear it, and it's just not important anyway. The base situation/facts are enough for a grand jury, lol. Just said she took responsibility for the harm she's done, not necessarily for who she is that made her that way. I would bet she doesn't have the EQ to face those demons, but hope she does, one day. Their affair was longer than your marriage, practically you were just the social cover for their affair. You never really had a marriage. OP, been functionally married for about 8 years now, but I see your point. She was not the person you thought you married. You don't know her. No normal person could do what she did. She took selfish, entitled, deceitful, and zero empathy to a whole new level. I suggest implementing divorce, not just separation. Love is not a solid reason to tolerate or remain in an emotionally abusive relationship. Distance yourself. Ghost and block her. Every contact or text exchange will set you back to DD, OP. Every contact or text exchange will set you back to DD. I don't know if my wife is still lying. I honestly haven't asked her for more details. I couldn't handle it on our first meeting, and it's not like she can deny it. I walked in on it. I told her logistics only convo for now, but just dreading the next convo where she's gotta move out and the love bombing insanity that is going to come. I was absolutely ruined for 48H after our first talk, worse than walking in on them. She admits to it being a 1.5-year affair. The lover happens to be her coworker and close friend. Yet you're expected to believe they've never been physical. So you just lucked out and caught them the night they planned to consummate the affair. Doubtful. Adults don't tend to keep things PG when having an affair. Let alone one as long as theirs. They clearly would have had ample opportunity, whether at work or at each other's houses. More so if his wife was consensual to it. Nope, you're being gaslighted. Hell, given how messed up this whole thing is, I wouldn't be surprised if the affair started before you became close friends. I'd schedule an STD test and hire a cleaning service. To make it worse, you were literally planning to start a family. Did she plan to pause the affair, or would she have been willing to baby trap you into raising your friend's kid? Can you honestly say she wouldn't have done that? OP, the OBS never condoned it. She suspected and confronted lover multiple times, but he denied/gaslit/the works. I never confronted my wife because I have plenty of female friends I'm close with and have never cheated, couldn't if I wanted to. Ridiculous of me to expect the same from her. I hear you. Based on the intimacy that I saw, I doubt it was the first time regardless of what they are saying. They have had many, many opportunities. Good call on the testing, but cleaning service. Trying to cut down on the drinking and start moving forward on myself.